What's up, how you doing? Here we are, beautiful day today. Beautiful day, perfect temperature, humidity is just right. Has a bit of that fall feeling in the air, but not too much. So today we're gonna make lentils. Lentils. See that? Very delicious, fast, easy food. So we have the ingredients here: celery sticks, carrots. I've already peeled the carrots, although that's unnecessary. You could cook them. You can cook them with the peel. It's not going to make much of a difference. I have an onion right here. Nice looking onion. Onion makes the meal. And garlic hiding in here. Garlic. So we have cumin right there. Love that. Delicious. Salt. Pepper somewhere here. Maybe I left it inside, but I will get it. Oh, I gotta check this. I am back. I had an interruption delivery, so I had to get it. Speed delivery, Mr. McFeely. So, anyway, what was I saying about the pepper? It's somewhere. Here it is. Pepper. I have red pepper crushed. The seeds there. I don't know if you can tell what that is, but of course olive oil. Need a bigger table. Bay leaves. I have tomato paste. Look at that. It's a good looking can. Nice, solid. And of course we have the crushed tomatoes. We have the fire itself. We need fire and the pan. If I missed anything, I will mention it as I go. The knife. So we begin. We're gonna cut up all these ingredients here. Start off with the celery. I washed everything in cold water, but I'm gonna chop off the ends here. Unnecessary. I'll give it to my rabbits. You know. Carrots. I just put everything in here. Good thing about these Serbian knives is that you could use them as a shovel and put your stuff from one place to the other. All right, so now we chop off the ends, feed them to the rabbits. You know, when I go to the desert, I will see some rabbits, like they're huge. I guess they're jackrabbits, and they can move. So in certain areas where it's rough, I'm doing about 30 miles an hour, 35. And I look out my window and I can see a big jackrabbit right next to me, just jumping along like a greyhound with sneakers on. So I'm putting like 4 celery sticks, 4 carrots. I'm keeping it in the 4 department. You can put more, you can put less, it's up to you. Alright, now you could chop these in half, or you could just chop them in half, meaning this way. Let me see something here. Maybe somebody came. Nobody. So we continue. In half, and then I put the carrots in the big pan, which I need to warm up the olive oil first, so we'll put them in here. Yeah, yesterday I got up at, I don't know, about 5:57 in the morning, right? And I thought maybe I don't know, my timing was off or something, because I looked out and it was very dark, and I said to myself, is it supposed to be this dark at this time of day? Then I said maybe, because all the clocks said it was 5:57. So it was 5:57. It just seemed very dark out. When I was a kid, you know, like young days, maybe, you know, even a little bit older, high school or whatever, I remember sometimes you'd get up a little earlier than normal. I would get up at like 10 minutes before 7, get ready to go to school. My school started at 8:10, so plenty of time, but sometimes I would get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, maybe I had to use the bathroom, maybe I had a bad dream, who knows, right? And I would always go to the window, pull the curtain and look outside. The driveway was below, and I have a memory always of my father being up at 4 a.m. Getting ready to go to work. And I remember watching him a lot of times after like a snowstorm would hit, and he would be out there with the brush and the shovel cleaning up before he would leave. I don't know, they didn't call his work off in those days, but yeah, it depends how strong the snow was, but I'm talking about a moderate snowstorm. I remember watching him at 4 o'clock cleaning the cars out, and then getting ready to take off. 4 o'clock. Those days seem like 100 years ago, and at the same time they seem like yesterday. The years go by. I feel like I arrived at my current condition, my current age, too fast. I don't know how I got here so soon, but I'm here. Once you're here, it's like you time traveled, you know. I remember being in the first grade, and thinking, when am I going to grow up and, you know, just do what you want to do, right? And before you know it, you're 13. What's going on here? Dry cleaners. Brought some stuff to the dry cleaners and they text you it's ready. So anyway, then I turned 15. I remember when I turned 15, about a month into it, our bathroom sink clogged up, and my father tried every technique to unclog it and nothing, so we had to call a professional plumber. Guy's got all the tools and stuff. I remember this guy, I used to say I remember, and somebody called me out on it one time. They said, you remember? I go, yeah, because I only did it one time right now. If I do it a second time, then I remember, but the first time I remember. But anyway, I remember this guy, a professional plumber, came, and he had kind of like a little bit of a mullet going, and he looked at me and he goes, you're about 15? And I said, I am. And I was kind of happy about that I looked my age. I didn't want to be in the kitchen there next to the bathroom, whatever, and I didn't want him to look at me and say, you're about 11? But he said 15, and I was very, very proud of that moment. So that was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember being a little kid and thinking, I felt like I was going to be in that condition for like a really long time, and I was. But now that it's over, it doesn't seem that long, you know. It seemed like it was instantaneous. My pot fell. I gotta get that. There was nothing in it, but I kind of moved it with the cutting board. I need a bigger table. I will get it in a moment. I'll finish this one up. All right. The more things you add, the more flavor, and the more people you feed, or the more times you eat by yourself. I got me and my family here, so see all that. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Next is the onion. I love onions. My grandfather would take an onion like that, maybe the other kind, the white onions, and then he'd get a nice piece of bread, or nice bread about that size, and then he would cut this and then take pieces off, and with the bread have a meal. A lot of calories in that. And then for like 8 hours you smell like onions. Unless, of course, you eat a ton of parsley or something like that after. And then it should speed up the odor leaving you, or neutralizing it somewhat. Not 100%, but then it depends on how much parsley you eat, right? It's like unwrapping a gift. Alright, so not too small. We cut it in fourths. Once this sautés, it'll shrivel. And the shovel and that's the onions. That's what it looks like. So that in a few minutes is going to go into that with olive oil. I will fry it up or saute it for a few minutes until it gets a little bit soft, and then I have the lentils. Obviously I will go inside and wash them completely and thoroughly with cold water. Got a couple of things to add here in a minute. Tomatoes. Was my beverage water. So here I could add water only, but if you wanted to have a little bit more flavor, vegetable broth, and this is a really good brand. It's got all the good stuff. See the picture in the back. Really good. So I bought 3 of these. You may only need 2. I put a little bit extra. All right. I'm going to put a couple of cloves of garlic. Tomorrow, my cats are they're due for shots. So tomorrow I take them in for their vaccination regimen. They don't know it, but that's where they're going tomorrow. Every once in a while they get a nice little shot, a couple of them. They say if your hands smell like garlic, wash them with lemon juice. I guess it works a little bit. Some of them peel easy, some of them, they give you a hard time. All right, we got it. We got it. So we chopped them up in, not really thin, but, you know, medium. About that size. Or that size. Put that in. Already smells nice. Now I wouldn't say it's like aftershave nice, but you know, for your appetite it's nice. Put the rest of them in, and that's it for that. So we got all the prep work done. Like I said, it looks like it's tough to, you know, gravity, you know, I'm trying to show you, but the gravity won't agree. Okay, I'm going to clear this out a little bit, and I will be back momentarily. Alright, I am back. Got the pan, the pot actually, and olive oil first, a little bit of lubrication. Nice and green. It's first harvest. This is really good. I highly recommend this. I've had many olive oils in my life. This is decently priced, and it's a good product. Usually you get the opposite, high price and not so good, or high price and very good, but this one is good price and very good. All right, so now we add all of the ingredients that I cut up. Got my mixing apparatus here. So we're gonna allow that to cook for 2-3 minutes there. Get all the flavor in there. We could add the bay leaves now or later. I'm gonna do it now. Brand new, never been used before, first time ever. We'll put a couple in there. I'll give you a more complete one. But they look like bay leaves. Smells great though. So we could add a pinch of red pepper crushed, just a little bit, not too much. I can really smell the garlic. So while this is cooking, I'm going to go and wash the lentils inside. But before I go, I'm going to add some cumin. Add 2 heaping tablespoons. You could add more. If you don't like this, you don't have to add it. Not against the law. Great smell. Anyway, I'll be back. Alright, I am back. They're ready. Now I'm going to add crushed tomatoes. And I'm going to have a little drink of water. So somewhere here is my can opener. Right there. Get that. What I like about that can opener is that it dulls the edges and makes it like a drinking cup after. That smells so good. Delicious. Now we're going to add this tomato. Mix it in. Very nice. Now we add the lentils. I washed them. Washed them a few times. Cold water. Mix them in. We add now the vegetable broth. You want to take a look at that? I mean, like I said, you can use plain water, works fine, but you're gonna have less flavor. This is organic. I may only need 2, we'll see. We played by ear. Now we're going to bring it to a boil, and then once it gets to that point, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, we're going to reduce the heat, put a lid on top with a slight opening, and let it cook, I don't know, 45-50 minutes, and then we try the lentils. If they're soft, then it's good to go. If not, we let it cook a little bit longer. At the very end, I will add salt as to not dry them out right now. I want to keep them tender. This is a very good meal. I survived on this many years ago. This was like one of my main things. I would make a big thing, like even bigger than this, and I would have it stored in the fridge for about a day. I could go through that in a day, no problem. If you eat nothing else, right? I don't mean I'm having steak on the side and eating one of these, but you know, delicious. That smells great. Smells great. All right. So we let it cook now, and then I may add tomato. Go home with your little car there for your mama's boy. I may add some paste. I may not. We'll see how I feel. I may add a little bit, like a teaspoon. I always picture myself. I picture myself up on a mountain during a snowstorm. Maybe I have a tent behind me, got a little fire going there, a pot like this, the ingredients in a bag. It's cold there, so you don't need refrigeration. And then in the tent, I'm preparing it, and then I go out, I put this on the fire, and I cook lentil soup. and then I go on the side. Well, it depends how much it's snowing, but if it's snowing a lot, I go in my tent. I have my meal nice and cozy with a sleeping bag there, you know, something like that. I'm very interested in doing that. And just because this is California does not mean we don't get snowstorms. Snowstorms up in the mountains happen all the time. Like if I go up 8,000 feet, 9,000 feet, Mount Baldy, San Gabriel Mountains, there's a lot of snow in the winter. And I've been up there a few times. I climbed all the way to the top with tons of snow. There's videos of me from years ago doing that. So yeah, you know, that's my thing, the coziness of the outdoors, nice tent, you know, and there you are inside by yourself. You don't want to bring people, you know, you bring people and they ruin it. You know why? Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't like it, it's cold here, it's windy, they complain, and complaining, you know, gets on my nerves, you know. When I'm doing something like that, I want to enjoy it. I don't want a complainer with me, or I'm tired and my feet hurt, you know, my nose is cold, my toes are cold. Stay home next time, you know. When I go places like that, I don't really care about the weather. I mean, it would have to be extremely bad. One time, I'll tell you, one time it got to the point where it was really bad. Not in the mountains, but I was northeast, and the temperature was right around zero, actual temperature, 0 degrees Fahrenheit, frigid, right? But not only that, wind, gusts of 30-35 miles per hour, and I was out in this really cold weather, and I only had a thin jacket because I didn't prepare. And I didn't have a hat on, and it was windy to the point where it felt like my skin was ready to peel off my face. So painful. I didn't know what, you know, I had my hands were dead frozen, and I didn't know what to do. There was no place, no shelter, nothing. And the pain of my face freezing, I just, you know, luckily I wasn't out there for, you know, ever. Otherwise I'd still be there. But yeah, very intense cold, and the wind. I mean, it wasn't just cold; it was windy, and like I said, it was wind gusts of 30-35 miles per hour. And yeah, I felt like I was gonna, you know, vanish into the night. Luckily, that didn't happen. But there's been a few times in my life when I've been out in the extreme cold, and when I say extreme, I don't mean it was 30. I mean it was like below zero, or, you know, a lot of times I've been out windy in the teens, but I've also been out when it was like zero and a little bit below that. But this smells delicious. Anyway, we're gonna let this cook, because the more you watch it, the slower it cooks for some reason. I know it's psychological, but And this is good tomato sauce. Crushed tomatoes. I've never used this brand before. New Coast. All right, I will be back when this is done, and we'll talk about other things. All right, it's late at night right now. We had dinner a few hours ago. Lentils were great, very delicious. So I put a little bit more. I'm not going to bed yet, but I'm a little bit hungry, just a little bit. Put some lentils. Delicious. Very good. Good blend with the carrots, onions, tomatoes, celery. Nice clear sky tonight. The moon is right there. Mars is right below. And then Jupiter is right up there, nice and bright. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I am fascinated with the universe. Some people, they don't think about it at all. Right here where I'm sitting right now, I had a conversation about 7 years back. And this girl was visiting here, and we're talking about, you know, space, universe, things like that. And I was telling her, you know, different things. And she said to me, oh, she goes, I never even think about those things. She goes, it just never pops into my mind to think about the universe. She just concentrates on the planet here, the life that we have here, and that's it, nothing beyond. I can't do that. So that's it. The day is over. Got Jaws on here. You can see that. So I first saw this movie, Jaws, obviously a very long time ago, but I went with my uncle and my cousins at a drive-in theater. And back then when we went, my uncle had a marooned color Impala Chevy Impala. I think it was like a 1970, right, 70 model. And that theater, that drive-in, not really a theater, but it was very old. So we pulled in there, and then they had the technology where you could hear the movie through your radio speakers. And I remember a little pamphlet that said, don't worry about your battery. The radio will only take a small amount of power away from your battery, and then when you start the car up, within 10 seconds, you'll get all that power back. So we saw Jaws, and then we drove away. But I remember in that theater, the one I'm speaking of, dogs barking, but the one I'm speaking of right now is the same theater drive-in that when I was a kid, Rocky was playing there. First run, Rocky. And I remember on my bike, I remember one time it was like a rainy day, drizzly out, and I was on my bike. It was like fall time. And I look over and there's red letters, Rocky. And I thought Rocky was the villain. I thought he was like the bad guy in the movie. I don't know what it was about. I thought he was like some kind of, sinister guy. So, but I didn't see Rocky there. But it was playing there. And then a short time after that, I saw Jaws there. Now, when I saw Jaws there, it was not new. It was not new. They would have old movies that would play there too. So it was a few years old. And I remember we all went there. We were all excited. But that drive-in theater when I was a kid, I would ride my bike. There were back trails, and you could end up in the back of that theater at nighttime. And if you had a little transistor radio, you could watch a movie while sitting on your bike and maybe eating some Orville Redenbacher popcorn. So, and recently, when I say recently, 2016, we went to the ArcLight, which is no longer operational, but the ArcLight Theater, and they were playing Jaws on the screen there, and we went and saw it. So I enjoyed it. It's I like these kind of movies where it's realistic. Not that the shark is realistic, but the environment, the cinematography looks real. It doesn't look like CGI like today. Can't get into these movies today, especially the fantasy movies. When I hear dogs barking in the distance, it reminds me when I was a kid, fall time. A little crispy air, maybe like 40 degrees out, and you would hear a dog barking in the distance. I'd have my windows open in my room, and maybe, 2 blocks away, you could hear a dog, whoa, 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 whoa. Now this one obviously is not that far. I don't know what the issue is. He's been barking all night. Somebody's on the loose. Good water. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to finish up these lentils and go inside, watch a little television, and eventually go to bed. Hopefully I see some nice dreams. That's it for now. Ciao.